Regulating assault weapons certainly falls within the bounds of the Second Amendment, and so does everything else we're urging. This is not a constitutional question. It's a question of political courage. The Supreme Court, the one that defines what the Constitution means and says, has ruled that reasonable regulations are consistent with the Second Amendment. So when the gun lobby raises the Second Amendment, it is nothing but a red herring. It's time for Second Amendment defenders in Congress to call them on it. The three measures that I just mentioned require background checks for all gun sales, making gun trafficking a federal crime, and limiting military-style assault weapons and high-capacity magazines will require leadership from both the President and members of Congress. But there are other steps that President Obama can take without congressional approval at any time he chooses with just the stroke of a pen. Vice President Biden understands this, and we hope his recommendations will include at least these 4 steps that we've urged him to do.
There is no chance that Wayne LaPierre will choose to say what is best for the country or our children.
Since when did the gun become a bad word?
The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun
Is a good guy with a gun.
is a good guy with a gun.
It's the good guys against the bad guys, and everyone should have a gun.
I don't even know where to begin.
The NRA embarrassed itself.
Very haunting and very disturbing.
Basically, we are all targets.
Our society is populated by an unknown number of genuine monsters.
And we need to have a gun on us at all times.
I call on Congress today to put armed police officers in every single school in this nation.
What does that say about us?
The media called me crazy.
These guys are nuts.
The media called me crazy.
This guy is whacked.
He trolled the press corps. This was not a press conference. That was a commercial.
More of a commercial.
He didn't even take questions.
The most bizarre press briefings that I've ever witnessed.
Since when did the gun become a bad word?
Wayne LaPierre, blame the media, video games.
Violent video games.
We are not the only culture that has video games.
But since when did the gun become a bad word, bad word, bad word, bad word?
Violence is a big problem. Too many children are dying. Too many children. We must do something. It will be hard, but the time is now. You must act.
Gabby is a gun owner, and I'm a gun owner. We have our firearms for the same reasons that millions of Americans just like us have guns. But rights demand responsibility. And this right does not extend to terrorists, it does not extend to criminals, and it does not extend to the mentally ill.
Background checks will never be universal because criminals will never submit to them.
Okay, so you do not support mandatory background checks in all instances of gun shows?
We do not, because the fact is the law right now is a failure the way it's working. We don't even prosecute anybody right now that goes through the system we have. So we're going to make all those law-abiding people go through the system, and then we aren't going to prosecute any of the bad guys if they do catch one. And none of it makes any sense in the real world.
Mr. LaPierre, that's the point. The criminals won't go to purchase the guns because there'll be a background check. We'll stop them from the original purchase. You missed that point completely. And I think it's basic.
Senator, I think you miss it.
Let there be order.
I think you're missing it. If you don't prosecute,
you're
not stopping them.